welcome to Brothers on the Board, the podcast where we become better teachers together. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It is time for Brothers on the Board. We took a week off last week. I do apologize to all of you who just, I don't know what you did with yourself. I mean, learned another language, did some exercise. Like, I know it wasn't as enjoyable. So I'm sorry, but we're back. We're here. Okay. Today we have what I think to be is a pretty interesting topic. It is I'm from Kentucky. This is our first episode of the summer, which we're trying to keep the summer episodes a little light, a little fun, let's just have some fun. That's what it's going to be. Today's episode is all about misconceptions. What are some things that people say about teachers and about the profession, teaching in general, that maybe not necessarily true, or they are true, or whatever? So we asked ChatGPT to give us 10 misconceptions that people think about teaching. Of course, you know, ChatGPT is trained by texts all over the internet for the last so many years. It has probably a pretty good idea of what are some things that people commonly complain about when it comes to teachers or teaching or whatever, or at least think about it. And what Wes and I are going to do is we are going to go through each one. He has not heard this, by the way. He doesn't know the rules here. He's hearing it for the first time.
Yeah, I have literally no idea what I'm getting into, so we'll see how that goes.
I just sent him a link to this and said, here, come talk to me about this. That's what's happening here. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give Wes a misconception, and then he and I will have to kind of come up with our own answers. And you have three choices, Wes. Your choices are either fact, fiction, or debatable.
Okay. Fact,
fiction, or debatable. That's your three choices for each one of these. Okay. All right. So we're going to run through this list. We got 10 of them here. It should be interesting to see what this thing has spit out. So, misconception number 1. Teachers only work during school hours. Fact, fiction, or debatable, Wes?
I mean, I think that's fiction. I try to only work during school hours, but like I sometimes end up taking some stuff home to grade, or occasionally, you know, but most of the time I'm working during school hours.
I think it depends on the teacher too, right?
Yeah.
Like I know teachers who they're there like all evening. Like you could go there like at 8:00, and there's some I know that they may still be.
I was about to say, we're on summer break. We're like 2 weeks in, and I know if I go there, like some of them will probably be there. Like still
one lady, she retired. She's probably still in there right now. I think that's a myth. I think it is a joke. I think she's actually still there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? I'll say fiction, because every teacher to a degree has to take things home sometimes. Not all the time. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, I come home every evening and sit in grade pay. I don't. Most of the time, I'm able to get most of my stuff done during the day.
Mm-hmm.
If it's plan bill. Now, I will say this. When there's a lot of teachers that are missing work, things get a little dicey because you have to internal sub.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go and cover that teacher's class during your plan bill. When you don't get plan bill, you got to get that stuff done at another time, and it ends up being after hours. We're not hourly employees. We're salaries. So you just get your work done when you can.
Yep.
Really is what it boils down to.
Yep. So yeah,
okay.
I agree.
Next one, teaching is easy. Teaching
hard
is easy.
Disagree on that one. I mean, obviously,
big old fiction on that.
That one's fake.
Would you say that teaching is more difficult than what you anticipated coming out of school? We've probably mentioned this before.
Absolutely.
It's way more difficult than
Absolutely. Yeah. I had an idea of what teaching was going to be. It was not that idea. It was not what I thought it was going to be.
Oh, they tricked me.
You are like mental. We've talked about this before. Like, obviously, it's not a physically demanding job, right? Like, I mean, I put in like 10,000 steps a day, but I don't have to. But mentally, I'm exhausted because you have to keep track of like so many different things. Like you're doing like mental gymnastics all day long, trying to make sure that you are like accommodating for everyone, trying to make sure that, you know, everyone gets it. Like, is this person struggling? Are they paying attention? What is Johnny doing up, running around the room? Why is that person at the pencil sharpener? That person looks like they're trying to hide a push pin. All kinds of stuff, you know.
What's that smell?
Yeah, what's that smell? How many people have I let go to the bathroom? Have I let you go to the bathroom today? Have you asked already once? Did I let you go?
Do you have to keep track of the list in your head sometimes when you've had multiple people ask?
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, like I used to like I really take it seriously, man. Like if one person asks me, I'm like, okay, I know this is the list. I've got it in my head. This is the order. This is fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is fair. But then I've got to a point now where I think as I get older, I just kind of like whatever. Like I'll just be like, I know you were on the list, so hey, you go. And then another kid will be like, I asked before him. I'm like, dude, I forgot. I'm just being honest with you,
Yeah.
man. They never really have a problem with it when I'm honest with them.
Yeah.
It's always like, dude, no, I forgot. I'll get you next. Like I got you.
Yeah. Most of the time
Um,
they're not too upset about it, but like they're just like I I get to a point where I just start saying, someone's out, give me a minute. They're like, well, who's out? And I'm like, I don't know.
somebody is that.
And then
Let me check.
I'll look around the room and I'm like, oh, no one is out, but I'm just gonna be like, oh, someone's out still. Hey, everyone's here, but someone's out. Give me a minute.
Yeah, and that is a thing. So no, teaching not easy. I thought when I came in, I would just tell them to do things and they would just do it. It doesn't work like that.
Mm-mm.
You gotta outsmart them. It's not always easy. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely not. Number three, teachers get paid for summers off.
No.
Fiction. Fiction.
No.
Yes. No, we do not. We do not get paid for summers off. A lot of people think that we get paid to just do nothing during the summer. Actually, we don't get paid for summer. We get paid on a 9 month contract, and and districts handle it differently. I think your district pays you your checks, like they pay you all of your money before the summer, technically, right? Like right at the
Yeah,
end.
they give me like a big lump. Yeah, like so I
Yeah.
got all the checks like it, like boom, 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 and then that's it for the summer. But no,
So
they just split all of the checks up uh,
yeah.
for that 9 month pay period over 12 months. They stretch it out, right? So
Yes, whatever your salary is split up over 12 months, but technically, it's you're being paid for 9 months of work.
yes,
Uh, so, like for example, if I were to go find a new job, or if I were to, get let go from this job or whatever, if I was uh, let go, not necessarily for breaking contract, for doing something bad, but like if I was let go due to like riff reduction in force, something like that, where they just didn't have the money, or they didn't have the as many students as they once had. In that case, they would just I would still be paid over summer because they're paying out the rest of my contract. And then I would obviously be starting my new job in August, and then usually the contract starts in like September of the next school year. I think our contract dates start September 5th usually. Is ours, but we get paid a little differently than you. You get every 2 weeks, right?
yeah.
See, we get paid twice a
Oh,
month.
you get
On
like
the 5th.
the first and the 15th or whatever, the 15th and the 30th.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, no, we do not. Yeah, we get money over summer. Um, my school I just get paid the 5th and the 20th. That's when I get paid, and it happens all summer the same way. Nothing changes. I guess it's just so people don't blow all their money and before summer, or something like that. I
mm-hmm.
don't know, but yeah, no, we technically do not get paid for summers off. Which, I mean, obviously people want to complain about teacher pay, but I mean, you're only getting paid for 9 months technically, so it is what it is. Number four, anyone can teach. Fiction.
Oh yeah, fiction.
Huge fiction.
Yeah,
Um, my wife upstairs, like if I went and told her, like, hey, would you ever want to be a teacher? She would tell you like 1000% no. And she would tell you that she don't really have the patience for
I
that.
think that's like the number one thing that most people say when they think like teaching and they think they can't do it is that they don't have the patience. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I believe everyone can teach, I guess.
Well, yeah.
Can everyone teach well or effectively? That's a little bit of a different debate, I feel like.
What depends on what you mean by can everyone teach? Like, can everyone make it a full year without just leaving? can
Without just saying,
I mean
forget this.
there's a reason, like, people want to talk about the good things about teaching, and there are a lot of good things about teaching,
Hmm.
right? You build relationships, you get off for summer, you make pretty good money, uh, you know, decent money. You have you get good insurance. There's good things about it. Like Dad used to always say, you got a warm place in the winter and a cool place in the summer that you're working in. You're not outside and work, labor intensive and things like that. Um, but at the same time, you look at the failure rate or the amount of people that leave within the first 5 years of teaching,
Hmm.
and there's a reason why it has such crazy turnover.
Hmm.
Right? If it was so easy, we're kind of getting back on the one from earlier, but you know, basically, when you see that many people leaving, it tells you that not everyone can teach.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's what it boils down
Hmm.
to. I mean, like those people, and I'm not saying it's everyone. Other people. It's not that they couldn't teach. It's just that they found something they love more, or they're following a passion. But for a handful, it's like, nope, I can't do this.
You can't,
Right?
yeah, you can't. I mean, there are people that like personality just does not click like with that, you know.
And that's fine.
Hmm.
That's fine. It is what it is. Teaching is a female-dominated profession due to simplicity.
Well,
What?
no.
What? What is that?
That is an interesting one. I did not expect ChatGPT to be throwing out sexist.
Sexist. Jeez. Like, what?
Huh.
Okay, I got to read this again. Teaching is a female dominated profession due to simplicity. And it says the gender distribution in teaching is often misinterpreted as a reflection of the job's simplicity rather than historical, social, or economic factors influencing career choices. Okay, that's
I have
no.
I have never heard this misconception that someone believes that like more women teach because it is simple. Do people have this belief?
I don't know. That is really wild. I mean, we do know that, like, the ratio of women teachers, there's many more women teachers, especially in the elementary grades, and even in middle school, than there
Mhm.
are male teachers. um I think that, not entirely sure where that comes from or why that's really the case. I assume it's just because, maybe women prefer, like, to teach the younger kids, or something. I don't know, but we know that there's a discrepancy, right?
Mhm.
But because it's simple, or due to simplicity, that's just straight up offensive.
Yeah, that is wow, ChatGPT getting
So,
spicy with this one. That is false. That's
yeah,
fake.
that's fiction. Yeah, no, that one's wild. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, that one's crazy. Teachers don't need advanced education. Oh man, big fiction.
Oh, yeah, big fiction.
Big fiction. Yeah,
Mhm.
you don't.
I mean,
Uh,
we talk about how college doesn't prepare you for a career in education, but you still need some formal training for sure.
yeah, no, I mean, aside from the fact that you need to have extremely good knowledge of your content area,
Yeah.
you also have to understand the pedagogy part of it too, and how to deal with certain age groups, and how to be appropriate, and how not to be, what you can do and can't do.
Professionalism.
Um, how to be, how to not be like Chat GPT and give sexist misconceptions.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, no, big false on that one. Get that out of here. Um, Number 7, teachers only teach. People often think that a teacher's role is limited to delivering content. No, big false.
Yeah. Yeah, big false.
Um, no, it's that is definitely not the case. Um, I would say, what percentage of your bill is actually sometimes teaching?
Is I mean, I know I'm having to deal with a lot of like social emotional stuff. I would say percentage wise 70-80% is like content.
70-80%. I would say on some of the more challenging bells, you could go down to 50 or 60% of mine
Yeah.
uh, on some of my more challenging classes. Because, if you say, well, you got 45-minute bell, right? Let's say you have a 45-minute bell. Tubby the cat wants to be part of the podcast.
For real.
Uh, but let's say you have a 45-minute bell. The first 5-10 minutes of the bell, you're doing your bell ringer. I don't know if you want to count that as teaching. I mean, I kind of is. Then you're taking attendance. You're letting in the people who are showing up late to class. You're trying to see who has their stuff that day, who has a charged Chromebook, right?
Mhm.
Who needs a charger?
Who needs a pencil? Who needs
Who needs a
paper?
pencil? Yeah. Then you finally start teaching, and then you got the classroom management part of it.
Mhm.
Johnny just cannot sit still today. I'm going to have to put him back here to where he can stand. I've got these kids are in a group together, and this isn't working.
Mhm.
I'm going to have to split them up. You're always thinking about it. So just there's days where and classes where that just isn't the case, and it's just not going to work. Um, so yeah, no, it definitely not the case. Then you got to be nursed sometimes.
Y'all
Got to get out
band-aids.
band-aids,
Band-aids,
dude.
man. I hand out so many band-aids, and they'll be like, I need a band-aid. I'll be like, what for? They'll be like, I cut my finger, and they'll show me their finger, and I'm like, there is literally no cut here.
I
You
know it'll
just
be
want a
like a
band-aid.
hangnail.
You just want a band-aid.
Yeah, they want to put it on their face or something
Yeah.
weird. Like just yeah, got it. Um, Number 8, standardized test scores reflect teaching quality.
Ooh.
We getting controversial in here now.
Boo.
Boo state testing.
Boo state testing. Yeah, no, I do not think that is the case at all. So that's a hot take.
It you look at when we look at our scores, and our scores don't always come back the way we want them to. But when we look at our scores, a lot of times we see growth, right? So it's like, okay, yeah, Johnny got a failing score in the eyes of the state, but Johnny also went up 2 grade levels. I mean, he may have went from a second grade to a fourth grade,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that's growth, that's progress, and that's a success in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I understand that it would be a miracle, it would be fantastic if every kid we could you could get every kid to be on grade level all the time. That's not reality. You do the absolute best that you can. You make what progress you can in the year that you're given, and standardized tests don't always reflect the progress or the accomplishments of students. Um, yeah, big disagree with that. Number 9, good teachers don't need resources. That's ridiculous.
You know what?
Oh God.
You know what? I
Go ahead.
I I kind of agree with that one.
I'm debating on how to respond to you. All right, go on. Explain.
I believe. I mean, like, what do you mean by resources, right? Because like, if you want, we would go back to the debate we had where like you can only bring like 3 items into a classroom, right?
Thinking about that. Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like if you give me a poster board and some markers, I can make something happen in a classroom.
I agree with you too, but like when I see this, I think I can do as well without resources as I can with.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess I see it as like you can't teach without resources. Like I can make it happen, and
So do we go debatable on this one?
we'll go debatable. We'll go debatable.
As many resources, I would be more keen with it. Let's see, it has a description here. Some assume that excellent teachers can thrive without adequate resources. Effective teaching often depends on access to materials, technology, and support services, which are crucial for enhancing. Now, when you talk about support services, now we're talking about counseling, therapy.
Yeah,
We're talking about behavior
yeah.
programs. high intensity programs, special education programs. Like, now if we're talking about those kind, we're not talking
Yeah.
about whiteboards and smart boards. Now it's like, nope, I can't do that.
No. Yeah. No. I gotta have my counselors. I
You
gotta
got to have your squad, man. This is a team
gotta have
effort.
the squad. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Gotta have the therapist. Gotta have all that good stuff. So yeah,
Uh,
I would agree. All right. So with the description of like resources, not just as physical resources, I would agree.
yeah. Okay, that's fiction now.
Yeah.
We're switching that. Can't have that. And the absolute last one: teachers have less stress compared to other professions. Nah,
Nah, fam.
no.
No.
I would be willing to argue it has more stress than a lot of professions.
Mm-hmm.
Just because when you look at the turnover rate of teaching, it's one of the highest burnout fields in terms of profession that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So when you consider that, I don't know how you could make the argument that teaching isn't stressful, or extremely stressful. The biggest thing about teaching versus other professions, not all other professions, but certain professions, is the fear of the unknown, and the idea that you are not in complete control of your day,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, you don't know if a kid's going to have a meltdown,
Yep.
if a class is going to be off the chain, if there's going to be a bad fight you're going to get in the middle of. You just don't know what the day holds always. Is an evaluator going to walk in during your worst bell when all the kids are going absolutely bonkers? Yeah, there's just or is there outside drama coming inside the school from from social networking or something like that? So there's a lot of professions where I know I'm going to my desk. I know I'm going to do this today. This is what's on my to-do list, right? Like, you kind of what your day
Yeah.
is. Now, it sounds boring to me, kind of, in that way, personally. I feel like the day would drag if that were the case.
I
Um,
completely agree. Like, I think that one of the reasons I do enjoy teaching and education is the fluidity of it, right? Like it's not um, set in
the clock
stone.
moves.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
clock moves
yeah,
in teaching.
yeah.
Um,
you're always on your toes for sure. So, and I enjoy that.
yeah,
I don't like going in every day and being the exact same. Now we always say we want structure in a classroom. We try, but
yeah.
at the end of the day, I feel like any profession where you're working with people uh, is going to be a little different day to day. You know.
Yeah, just because you're not entirely in control of your day.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, well, that will do it for ChatGPT's list of misconceptions about teachers. Thought there was some pretty interesting ones on there.
I agree.
Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this discussion, and I wish you the best of luck with whatever it is that you're currently doing, driving, doing the dishes, going for a jog, whatever it is. I hope that you have success with it, and we will see you next week on Brothers on the Board. Have a great week.